Recording in progress.
Good, Randy.
Thomas Everly.
Randy Carney.
Aaron Bear.
Appreciate Erie.
No agenda revisions this evening. Approval of the board minutes from March 11th. Wants to approve.
Second.
Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Student representative report. We have a student speaker today. Okay.
Hi, I'm Emma Mayer and I'm a sophomore in leadership. This is my second year in leadership. I also participate in snowboarding. Thank you for the opportunity to share an update for student leadership. We are coming up on a busy time of the school year. We have our Dornbecker fundraiser in just 3 weeks. It is on Saturday, on April 27th at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. It is $5 cash at the door. There will also be an opportunity for additional donations during the performance. This year, we have 10 seniors participating. It's going to be a great evening. This year's prom is on May 10th at Mount Hood Event Center. We will reveal the theme this week in advisory. At the end of May, we have our decades assembly. This is one of our favorite assemblies of the year. Each grade is assigned a decade. This year, freshmen have 80s, sophomores have 90s, juniors have 2000s, and seniors have 2010s. Thank you again for the opportunity to share tonight.
What was the date on that decades? Something.
The decades assembly is used. I think our fundraiser is on April 27th, but I don't think it says the assembly date. No worries. Thank you.
Moving on to the superintendent's report, Mr. Bear.
Yeah, two things. Briefly, they're not here, but I do want to thank them. You know, we started partnering with Orchid. Oh, I think at the end of last year, beginning of this year, our contract with Clackamas County as it relates to our school-based health center ended. We wanted to find a new partnership so we partnered with Orchid. Orchid focuses on rural medical centers, medical provisions, and then most recently, the medical center in Welch's, the group out of Tillamook, and then Adventist could no longer provide primary care physicians and or other medical support. So they were no longer able to continue to operate the center in Welch's, and a number of folks in the community there, to include some more folks that own the building. I spoke with folks on Orchid on our end. Really worked together pretty quickly to get Orchid to provide supports there at that Welch's center. So good news is that Julia, who is pseudo retired but still working for us on bond stuff, found Orchid. So kudos to Julia for doing the groundwork to find Orchid, to bring Orchid to our district. And then kudos to Orchid for partnering with Welch's in an emergent situation. And kudos to the folks that own the building, to Paula, for recognizing that this could be a great partnership and providing medical services for those folks up there. Our hope is that that could become a full-fledged medical center again sometime in the near future. And then as we work to advance some of our cause as it relates to bonding and other issues, we'll look to see how we can help convert some of those spaces, not unlike we did in this building and the Welch's to medical facilities, so we can further provide those opportunities. If you're not aware, folks from the mountain literally now would have had nowhere to go except for that facility. So the next closest facility would have been down the mountain, the county health center, the Adventist here, or our school-based health center. We have a number of folks up there that don't have transportation regularly, a number of folks that have respiratory needs, cardiopulmonary needs. They can't be off oxygen for more than 30-40 minutes, things of that nature. So this was a huge need, and it's just a testament to what can happen when when a group of people in a community our size can come together and we can rally around a cause. So I'll put that out there. Very, very glad that that was able to be. And the second thing I want to share is the Clackamas County Regional Needs Assessment as it relates to CTE was conducted. This needs assessment was conducted to determine where the programs in Clackamas County, the CTE programs in Clackamas County kind of are as it relates to industry standards and industry readiness for high school students. There's a formation of the Advanced Manufacturing Regional Action Coalition to provide equipment assessments and key recommendations for school districts so that we can better align with industry. So a number of years ago, as you remember, Measure 98 was passed by the state. We got together with our business department, HR department, folks at Sandy High School and said, we recognize this as a need when we passed the bond. We passed the bond under the premise that we would do an even better job providing career and technical education programs for our students. And we really wanted to deliver on that. And the Measure 98 came around. We had dialogue about how to grow that as the superintendent. And then Kimball was the principal at the time, came to her with a plan that the board had vetted, budget that they had vetted, some operational conditions within our employment groups on how we wanted to move that forward, how we would recruit the right talent for those areas. And for better or worse, we were able to execute it. Surprise, surprise. This report does a solid job of helping us to celebrate what it is we've been able to provide for our students. There are 3 different tables of note. One's a comparison of employer machining skill expectations, and on the I think 23 criteria, we are. We're just going to use greens and reds because that's what they use. Green in 21 of the 23 criteria. There's only 3 criteria where they suggest that we are lacking, compared to other schools that are built just for the industrial sciences and industrial arts. They can't compete with the program opportunities, the advancements that our students have access to, and the skills that they've been able to demonstrate. For example, there's a neighboring school district that has a program, and instead of telling you how many they're in the red, I'll just tell you how many of those key indicators are in the green. They're in the green, there's 3 of them. So it's just the opposite. So we have an inverse relationship where we are successful on many fronts. They are lacking and are not successful on those same fronts. And in the, where we are unsuccessful on 3 fronts, they have demonstrated some success or let's just call it readiness, because that's what it is on only those 3 fronts. And that's a testament to the hard work of keeping our staffing in those areas is very hard to recruit and retain. And the testament to the hard work our human resources folks have done. It's a testament to the work that our staff does by celebrating the high school that they work in, so people actually want to be here. So our business department and administrative team that put this together, and the board for trusting us to bring this to fruition. And the second, so the table that comes to comparing employees' machining skill expectation versus what's actually happening in schools. There's only one area where they suggest that we are lacking out of those same 23. And so I guess I could show you the greens and reds real quick, right? So where all the reds are, that's where everybody else is lacking, and where all the greens are, that's where we're doing well. So you don't really need to read to be able to even see the data. Just if you know colors, you can tell that, hey, your team here, your staff here, what the patrons invested in here is working. And then last thing I would share with you around this is there's another chart. If you receive a 0, that means the program is already meeting the employer expectations. A 1, it's easy to achieve. A 2, a little bit of professional development is needed. So on this, there are only 3 areas where it says easy for us to achieve, and 1 where it says we need a little more professional development. The rest are 0s, meaning we already meet the standard. And if you see this graph, I can just show it, I guess, to the general folks. If you see that graph there, you see all the gray stuff where that 1 district just has a bunch of gray. That's good. That's your district. And where all the colors is, that's other folks. Fair enough? You don't even know what it says when you have colors. It's kind of, I'm still on the color level when it comes to reading data. I haven't advanced much because I like to keep it simple. So I say all this to say that the investment that was made by our folks in this community in 2008 again, the hard work that's been put in by our staff, both on the certified, we have classified folks that work in those environments as well, and then our administrative front. They have proven to be the best stewards of the money, of the vision that we could possibly hope for. And if this doesn't tell that tale, so I'm gonna be hard pressed as a superintendent to ever provide you with a set of data that tells the story like this tells the story. So, congratulations to the folks on our board, past, present, hopefully future, because once you get to a place like this, making those improvements becomes exceedingly more difficult, and not kind of backsliding sometimes could be just as difficult. So, questions? All right, that's all I can do.
Thank you, Randy. I don't have any yellow cards for public speaking this evening. Certified staff.
Good evening. We hope everyone had a restful and enjoyable spring break. As usual, it went by way too quickly, and now it feels like we're kind of in the home stretch of the school year. Educators who teach tested grades and or subjects are gearing up for state testing with their students, and we are grateful to have started having conversations about possible adjustments to the secondary grading policies for next school year. That's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I assume there's no classified report this week. No. Moving on to consent agenda, we'll entertain a motion for the consent agenda. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Bye.
Opposed, motion carries. Action items, budget appropriation transfer, Tim.
Housekeeping item, excuse me, got it from in the facility improvement fund, we have talked about that before, but the facility improvement fund is monies that we have put aside from some specific dedicated resources and some general transfers to the general fund. Facility improvement fund takes care of facility needs that are on larger scale. Two main purposes. One, unanticipated things, larger scale facility things that need remediation. Something breaks down, it's critical, we need to fix it. We don't have much other ability to create resources or set aside resources to address those items. Facility improvement fund also served a purpose of because of the construction excise tax the planning for future classroom expansion and needs for population changes in our students. So when we put the budget together at the start of the year, we make provisions for both of those tracks. Most notably in this current year's budget, we set aside for large scale facility improvement, renovation of or replacement of the turf fields out here. And we had resources set aside for potential modular expansion if we needed them. So we continue to try and stay ahead of our needs there. On the other side of the house, we created appropriations for those unanticipated needs. Some of them were anticipated in, but most of them weren't. So as the year has evolved, as you recall, if you step back just a couple months, we had some adverse weather conditions. And so what happened is that we ended up having more facility needs than we anticipated so far as fixing broken things. That said, we also determined that we are not in need of pursuing expansion of modular buildings. So at this point, facilities fund support services, which takes care of the maintenance side of the house, is at its appropriations. Matter of fact, it's going to go slightly right now. Whereas we have surplus available in the facility acquisition side of the house. So simply put, in order to accommodate the remaining facility repair needs for the rest of this year, both anticipated and unanticipated, because we're not done knowing what we don't know. We're asking that the board take advantage of a statute that allows transfer of appropriations from one category to the other. So what you have in front of you is a resolution to achieve that.
Any questions for Deb? I'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion to approve.
Second motion.
Then moved and seconded, any discussion?
Where is it? Where's this located?
It's on the back side, so there's a board agenda detail on one side, and then there's a resolution on the other side.
Look, big mention it point.
I do not anticipate that we would have to use the entire transfer amount for the rest of this year, but again, I don't know what I don't know. And so we're just being pessimistic and making some real.
Are we ready? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Tim.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Secondary math adoption. Here, Paul.
Good evening. I am here to request approval of the secondary math adoption. You'll see on the last page of your packet, there was a team of about 12 teachers and administrators who worked over the last, can you not hear me? Who worked over the last 4 months to come up with recommendations for secondary math adoption. So what that really entails is the state gives us a list of approved materials that we can choose from. So then we get materials from vendors, and then we review those materials, and then teachers pilot them. Really, you're trying to narrow it down to, okay, I have 5 material, 5 different vendors. How am I gonna get down to like the very best one? So through a lot of conversation, piloting of assignments or piloting of units, and that quickly starts narrowing down to like, okay, this will work best for our kids. Then from there, there's conversations at site council meetings with administrators and teachers and parents, and then they come forward with recommendations. So that's what you have here for the middle school. They are recommending iReady by Curriculum Associates, and we estimate that overall cost to be $259,580, and that's for a 7-year adoption. Okay, and then the high school, Big Ideas by Oregon Math and Cengage, with an estimated cost of $171,238.89, with that overall total of $430,818.89.
Any questions for Kim? Very done. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carried. Thank you. There's no information and discussion items this evening. May 7th is an OTA board meeting, and May 13th is our next school board meeting.
I would like to make an announcement of April 30th. Is it for work? There's a budget meeting, yeah.
I was gonna-
First meeting. Yeah, first meeting's on the 30th.
At 6 o'clock here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other announcements? The meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.